everyone, I'm Winta, your host today from On Point. On Point has been a pioneering force in the UAE's part time job market. We've connected over 6,000 individuals with flexible opportunities, and now we're taking things a step further. Through our innovative new app, On Point is making part time jobs even more accessible than ever before. We're not just connecting people with opportunities, we're introducing the entire concept of part time employment to a wider audience in the UAE. For our series of interviews, we're excited to have handpicked a group of experts from various fields. These successful individuals based in Dubai will share their inspiring stories and provide valuable, informative content. Today, I'd like you to meet our first expert of the series, Mark. Mark, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's our pleasure.
Great.
So, Mark, why don't you start off by maybe giving us a quick, brief intro to who you are?
Yeah, okay. My name is Mark. I'm originally from the UK. I moved to Dubai in 2008. So I've been here just over 16 years now. And I class myself as a sales coach. I don't hide away from sales. That's what I am. And the reason why I want to be out in front of people, teaching people, guiding people, is that from my experience when I first arrived in the UAE, it was something I didn't want other people to go through. And that was, I started in my first job here. And on my first day, I was given a book and I was told, go to the corner and read. And nobody spoke to me for 3 days.
Oh my God.
That was my experience.
Oh, wow.
So the thing is, you should be a go-getter and you should make things happen for yourself. But there has to be an environment where people can feel empowered and grow. And that's why I work with companies so they can empower their employees to give them the best opportunity.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, so I went through your website and I did some research.
Okay.
And you mentioned that you started as an office junior.
Yeah.
So looking back, what skills or lessons do you think you've learned from that early role? And what do you think is most valuable in your current role as a sales trainer from that time?
Yeah, I'd say a thick skin. Yeah, because I came in at the bottom, very, very bottom. And that's very humbling, really, especially, in school. I was a person that was known, I was a person that had lots of friends, and I was a person that was able to kind of influence as well. And then I was coming into a job where I was kind of the bottom of everyone's shoe, really. And some people made that known to me as well.
Oh.
Some people were very nice to me, very welcoming. And some people, what happened was I came in and they went up one step. So I took their job, which was at the bottom. And all of a sudden now they were trying to give me back all of the things all the experiences they've been through.
They were basically taking it out on you.
Yeah. So I've developed this thick skin from that, which I'm so proud to have today because it allows me in certain situations to kind of process it and just go, I can get through this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Would you also say that it probably helped you develop skills of dealing with people, like different types of people?
Every single day. Yeah, dealing with all walks of life. I mean, I would also say as well, one of my first jobs I ever had was I was a receptionist at my dad's surgery. And this was at the age of like 12.
So it was like a part-time job?
Yeah, part-time job, yeah. So on a Saturday morning, my dads would get up around 6 o'clock and the first patient would be around 7 a.m. And I'd be at the front desk and I had to greet people, welcome people, book their next appointment, remind them of this as well, collect money, give the correct change, which I was at fault for making mistakes with that a couple of times.
Did you use a calculator or just
no calculators back then? It wasn't like that, working the numbers out in your head. But it really gave me people skills. And in those situations where, 3 people were coming at one time and I had to organize that.
Exactly.
And my dad was always fast moving as well. He's getting through patients pretty quickly, creating a great environment where people leave feeling happy. But it was like next one. And I had to keep to that order.
So you were quite busy.
Yes. Yeah.
At 12?
Yeah. So in at 7, we left about 12 o'clock. But there was probably about 30 people we saw between that time. So it was busy.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
At 12, you dealt with that many people. That's super impressive. Oh my God.
And that's it. And even, I always say as well, like the dinner table on a Friday night. Yeah, so I had my dad. I'm the youngest of 3.
Okay.
My dad, who's a practical joker, and then my 2 brothers, and then other family members. And I knew if I could handle that situation at that dinner table, I could handle anywhere.
That is true.
Yeah.
So, would you like to share a bit about what kind of practical jokes your dad pulled? If you, if you don't mind.
It's just the butts of everything, really.
Okay.
So with my two brothers as well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the youngest, and everything was just deflected to me all the time. Yeah. If it wasn't kind of saying something to somebody which they knew what the meaning was and I had no idea, that was an example.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was while I was going through your website, I also found out that you had this desire
Mm,
to be a lawyer.
yeah.
You thought, that's it. That's my end game. This is how I do things.
Yeah.
And then that didn't quite happen,
No.
right? So, what initially made you hesitant about pursuing sales?
Yeah. So for me, like I kind of made a statement at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud to be in sales,
Yeah.
which is something that I wouldn't have said over 20 years ago.
Yes.
I used to see it as, especially with the job that I got into, I saw it as everybody that did that job, every one of my friends that never really was doing anything with their lives, that was kind of the job they got into.
Mhm.
It was, if you weren't doing well at school, you'd get into sales. And I wanted to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
And I think as well, there was a lot of social pressure in that regard. Like, oh, if you're not a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer or something like that, you're not really socially accepted.
Mm-hmm.
A salesperson is kind of at the bottom of the pecking order.
Yeah.
But for me, in any business, it's the only role that actually generates an income for a business.
That's true.
Yeah, everything else is an outgoing cost.
I mean, even like services in terms of like a lawyer, you still have to sell that.
And I teach
Yeah.
lawyers now on
Mhm.
how to present themselves in a way where a client sees the value in them and actually wants to use their services. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I went on this journey. Actually, I was at college and I had a part-time job, and I was working in a property company,
Mm-hmm.
and I was doing things like leafleting, and then the leafleting was for like these big events. So the events would happen and there'd be a lot of call-ins, people calling in to book for the event. So they needed people to answer the phones. So I started answering the phones, and before I knew it, I was doing 3 part-time shifts a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I wasn't going to college. I was working rather than going.
Yeah.
And because I was just enjoying it. I really was. But I still had that problem of, I wanted to be a lawyer. I didn't want to be a salesperson. But what I came to realize is, and this is what I speak about all the time, there's a difference between being a salesperson and being a sales professional. And a sales professional is someone that works on themselves every single day to be the best that they can be. And where's the similarities with being a lawyer? I would say it's extremely close, because you have to present a case, you have to influence people, you have to persuade people, and there's techniques to use that in an ethical way.
True.
Yeah. So as a salesperson, I want to give people as much value as possible and be a problem solver. So whether you're a lawyer who is helping people be found not guilty, or you're a salesperson who is helping somebody find their dream home, the same core is there to it.
Yeah, that makes that makes perfect sense. I didn't even think about it that way, but
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So your story highlights the importance of building trust and relationships in the Middle East. How can someone working part-time in sales effectively connect with colleagues or clients? Let's say even with a limited schedule, because it's hard to keep that relationship when you're so busy all the time. So how do you advise people to go about that?
Yeah, I think whether it's part-time or full-time, it's always not easy to manage those
Yeah.
relationships. But I always like to lead with value. The thing I hate the most is somebody, like, they see my name pop up on their phone or an email comes in and it's like, oh, it's Mark again. He just wants to take from me. So I try to lead with value. So, and in the end, that ends up building better for me.
Yeah.
So I always say to people, somebody will say, oh, they don't want to work with me. They haven't got enough time. Why would they want to help me? The thing is, if somebody feels that they are coachable, they will give their time to that person. So I always want to lead with value. So I say, look, how can I be a service for you? What can I do? So when you're in that job, in that part-time role, look at those people that can actually benefit you the most and go up to them and see how you can be a service to them. Don't be afraid to do that, because people actually are willing to help.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
actually an interesting approach. So you approach the people that
Mm.
you need something from,
Yeah.
but then ask them, how can I help you? How do you need me?
This is it.
Okay, perfect.
The thing is,
Super cool.
yeah, so
Yeah.
there's people that I want to learn from,
Yeah.
and they've been there. I always say there's a blueprint, there's a framework of
Mm-hmm.
success out there. You just have to go and find it. And there's one thing to go on YouTube and learn about how to do something, but
Yeah.
another thing is actioning it. So I always say learn, try, apply. And if I've many times been able to sit with people because they've seen that I'm willing to make some changes as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a journey I've been on. People say they want to change, but they don't. You
Yeah.
know, they're the way they are does not match with what their intentions are.
Yeah.
The
Actions don't
behavior,
match the words. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, perfect. So many viewers might be considering like a career change, but might be hesitant to sort of just like jump into a
Mm.
full time role. How can part time work be like a stepping stone for someone looking to transition into a new field? Like, let's say sales.
Yeah, I think it's actually brilliant. But you've got to be willing to give up some time.
Mm,
And the thing is, people say I haven't got enough time in a day for
yeah,
one job, let alone two.
yeah.
But there's an exercise that people can do, and they can write down actually what they do on a daily basis. And if a third of your day is filled with sat there watching Netflix and scrolling through Instagram, you've got enough time to actually go and get a part-time job and learn something. And once you have that reality check and you realize, actually, I do have time in my day, you're going to learn a new skill,
Mm-hmm.
which can then be applied to either your current role or something that you look to do for the future. Because that's what people are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for skills,
Yeah.
because a lot of these roles now, they're going to be null and void because of technology coming in. So your role's going to be gone, but your skills and capabilities can be transferred into something else.
AI is
Yeah.
taking your job.
What's that?
AI is taking your job. Is that what
Well, so
yeah.
what they say is AI is not taking your job. What's happening
It's,
is
yeah,
a person who is capable in AI will
is
take your
going to
job.
take
Will
your
take your
job.
job. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So just improve, work on your skills, basically.
Every single
Everyone,
day. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's skills over roles. That's what people are looking
Mm-hmm.
for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the key is to sacrifice a bit of your time as well as enhance your skills or develop new skills.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn here. Maybe I am,
No,
but
you're not.
I say to people, "Are you willing to work for free?"
Okay.
Because people say, "I can't find a job. It's not possible. The market's so
Mm.
bad. It's down." And I say, "Would you work for free?" And they say, "No, I wouldn't." And they say, "Well, why is that?" I say, "Because I value myself."
Mm.
And I say, "Well, you can sit around doing nothing all day, or you can keep active and potentially learn something new.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in a company, and when they go looking and a role comes available or a job comes available, they'll be like, this person's committed, and I'll be willing to give them a chance."
Mm. Okay, so that is actually, I've never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
I would be like, oh, I'm too good to do something for free.
And that's what you're told, though. You're
Yeah,
told, value
it's true.
yourself.
Value
Yeah.
your time, value
Yeah.
yourself.
And that's it. Or people say, it's not my job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true.
You're not going to develop yourself if you keep saying it's not my job.
Yeah, and you're not even going to learn anything new as well.
This is it.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So, in your previous sales roles, did you ever encounter maybe colleagues who were working part time?
Yes, constantly.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
constantly.
how, I mean, this kind of like interlinks to the question I previously asked.
Okay.
How did their schedules or work styles impact the team dynamic? Like, were they motivated or were they demotivated? And did it affect like the team's performance or?
I'd say it ranged.
Okay.
So actually, you'd have some people that have a small window,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd actually get more done than someone would do in a whole day.
Oh.
Yeah, because they would say, hey, I've got 3-4 hours. And even people that, have a family,
Mm-hmm.
a woman that has a family, they can only work a few hours a day, then they've got to have their life with that. They're getting more done than an employee that sat there the whole day.
Yeah.
Because they come in, they know what they're doing, they've got it all structured, they're
organized.
Focused. Yeah. And then there's some people that just think, I'm here for work and I'm just going to leave after the 4 hours. So it all depends how you look at it. And I look at it as, what can I do within this time to make the most impact?
So it's all about how you think about it, like your mentality. If you say you're going to accomplish it in 3 hours, you can accomplish it in 3 hours.
Yeah.
If there's a will, there's a way.
I'm at fault for this
Yeah.
as well. Like sometimes I can take a whole day to do something where it takes other people like 2-3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that, but it's a process that I sometimes have to go through.
Yeah.
Some people can just come in and get it done, and some people need to spread it out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Mark. So,
Yeah.
given your extensive experience, why do you think part time work can be valuable for professionals?
I mean, having part-time experience myself,
Mm-hmm.
I've really been able to understand because I've gone into a different role and I wanted to learn about those other parts of the
Mm-hmm.
business. And what it does is it kind of gives you empathy of the challenges that other person can face within the business. So as an example, like sales always blames marketing and marketing always
Always blame
blames
sales.
sales.
Yeah.
Okay. And they think, oh, it's easy to generate leads. Oh, leads are easy to close. Why can you not close the business? So I kind of took a little role as being in marketing and I did that for a couple of months and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, and especially with social media marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone's pushing you to go viral. Why are we not viral? Yeah.
and this is it. And you end up kind of losing who you are really because I always I want to lead with authenticity as
Yeah.
well because no matter what I'm speaking about, I stay true to who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But you can definitely see there's people out there which are just trying to get the clicks and the likes,
That's
and they
true.
don't even like what they're doing, but they want the views and they
Mm-hmm.
get addicted to that. Yeah, so I've really understood kind of the pain that marketing has gone through, and it's helped me build that better relationship. And I've worked closely with finance, worked closely with the management team,
Mm-hmm.
but that's from me and my personality of going above and beyond.
Yeah.
Like you can't expect people to give you these opportunities if you're just going to do the bare minimum. If you're going
True.
to do that, nobody's going to want to work with you
Yeah.
because you're just somebody that comes in, checks in at 9, if it's for a few hours, leaves at midday, and that's it. But they want to see that you're willing to give up that time, and that is what I've been able to come across to people. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you. So, when it comes to the challenges
mm,
for part time work,
yeah,
you mentioned in your website that you had faced challenges adapting to a new culture
yeah.
and a new business environment when you first moved to Dubai.
Mm.
So, can you maybe elaborate on some of these challenges and how you overcame them? Or did you overcome them?
I mean, I can talk about one where I got asked to
Yeah.
leave the company
Oh.
because of culture difference. Yeah. Being from the UK,
Uh huh.
practical joker, same
Oh.
as my dad, it's passed down the line,
So,
okay?
were you like an HR nightmare or something?
Um, Sometimes, yeah. But what I would do is guy came into the office
Mm-hmm.
and he was from Egypt. Lovely guy, I've really got on well with him. He came in and he had no computer screen, okay? He
Mm-hmm.
sat at his desk, there was no computer there, okay? He's like, who's got my computer? Everyone's saying, I don't know who, don't know who. He goes and gets the director of the company. He comes out and says, where's Mohammed's computer screen? I said, I hid it. I put it over there. He goes, get out, you're fired. I said, have you never watched The Office before? It's a practical joke. That's all it is. But they didn't take it.
Yeah.
So there's a culture difference.
Yeah.
Okay. Was I right fit for that company? Maybe not. I took the opportunity on because it was my first job in Dubai and you
Yeah.
learn,
Mm-hmm.
but what I did know, what I learned very, very quickly here is that being British, we have this idea that if we come to a country, we will lay down the British way of doing things, and that's
Mm-hmm.
still the best practice. But it's not true at all.
Yeah.
Okay, what I had to do was I had to adapt to this huge melting pot of
Yeah.
many nationalities, many cultures, and I had to understand about this building relationship. So in the UK, there is building relationship. It's like, let's get it done, let's get it done.
Yeah.
Here, it could take 6 months to build a relationship with somebody. But once you show that consistency and you're willing to help and add value and do as much as you can, once you're in, the opportunities are endless. And that's been my experience. And that's why I've been able to last for 16 years out here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can still speak with the old directors, my old bosses, and have a relationship because I've never burnt bridges.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't working out, we'd come to, and either I had outgrown my role or just outgrown the business or my vision of what I wanted
Yeah.
to do. I was very clear, and we parted ways in a great way. And I still call those people close friends today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, how would you say someone can go about like overcoming those challenges? Like, would you say, I mean, someone has to be like quick to adapt and just understand that sometimes there are like cultural differences or
Yeah, I think for me, especially
yeah.
with what I do, which is sales, okay, be more interested than interesting.
Okay.
I go on a journey each day to learn from people and I want to
Mm-hmm.
learn about culture. I was in Saudi last month and I was moderating an event, and there's a mix of European people and Saudi people, okay?
Yeah.
And we all broke for lunch and everyone sat in the restaurant, and you've got all the Western people sat together, but there was a table of Saudi nationals. And I said, I want to learn. So I sat with them and I wanted to understand about the culture and what's going on. And that gave me some real insight. So you have to be willing to learn. And one
Be
thing
open.
is here, if you ask somebody about their nationality and their culture, they're happy to share with you as well. And once you can kind of mix it with the flavor of who you are, it's the perfect mix. But it's a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some things you might say that might offend somebody. But if it's not done with the intention to actually offend somebody, it can be kind of seen as, okay, that was a mistake, and we can move forward.
Yeah, you can just apologize and move on if your intentions were like, I think people are more okay with understanding things if your intention's always pure. I'd like to believe so, at least.
That's what you'd like
I
to
mean,
think
that's
so,
not
yeah.
always 100% the case, but
No.
I'd say 90% of the time,
Yeah.
people are pretty understanding.
Yeah, I would say it wasn't my intention to offend you.
Yeah.
It wasn't my intention to offend you. And
Yeah.
if I have, then I do apologize. And after that, we can kind of build a relationship again.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Throughout your career, you've encountered companies struggling with sales, teams lacking motivation or direction. What advice would you give to someone looking for a part-time sales but concerned about joining a team facing these issues?
So there's a lot of challenges that are there. Okay, so a lot of the time it's down to the leader actually within the team who has not really understood what's important to the people in the team. So that causes a bit of toxicity. Or they've top performers come in and they're hated amongst the team. You know, one thing is, as successful as I was in sales, people were still rooting for me to succeed rather than saying, oh, not Mark doing another deal. Because I was humble enough and willing enough I want to work in a team. I want to raise them up as well. And that's why I took on kind of an assistant role to my manager. Any new people starting, I would train them up. I'd assist them. They would shadow me. But people going into a business, I would advise them. I've had people reach out to me and say, hey, what's the culture like? What am I not seeing on the website? What am I not going to see in the interview? And depending on who you're reaching out to, you're going to get some real honesty.
Yeah.
Because they don't want you to go through what they might have been through.
True.
But same as critics in a movie, I don't take on critics in a movie because
you gotta watch it for yourself.
I like to watch it for myself. Sometimes you've got to go through it because how they see it is completely different to how I see it.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
So I want to listen. I take it with a pinch of salt, but really see who those people are, see how they've been performing. What is the relationship like with other people? And the beauty of like LinkedIn is that you can always see connections there and you can reach out to people. And I say there's only a few times I've heard where somebody's reached out and no one's responded. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if that's actually true because I never respond to people on LinkedIn, but
no. Okay. Because what they're doing
that was a joke. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, because what they're doing is they're pitching to you.
Yeah. That's true.
They're pitching to you.
Yeah.
Let's connect. Oh, we have this product. Look how great we are. That doesn't work.
Maybe they should try the approach of how can we help you?
Well,
or how do you need me?
Every connection I make with somebody, my line is, hi Winter, let's connect. I look to bring value to you and your community.
Sounds good.
And I've very rarely had somebody that doesn't connect with me. But then it's my actions after that. So every day I'm posting on LinkedIn and I'm giving value. I'm leading with value. And a lot of the time, it's a great reminder for people, rather than having me follow up, hey, what's going on? Are we going to sign up? We're going to sign up. They see my post each day and it reminds them actually, oh, Mark, I must respond to him.
That's wonderful. Yeah. So our next segment, our new app aims to connect part-time professionals and offer them opportunities. So how do you see an app like this impacting the way people approach part-time work in the UAE, especially for those new to the region? So, I mean, as you know, like part-time work is still like a very foreign concept here in the UAE.
Yeah.
A lot of people do like volunteer work and things like that, but most people just stick to their full-time jobs. So how do you think this app will impact people?
Yeah, again, it's what journey are people wanting to go on? Do they want more than what they're doing at the moment? can they get that in their current job? If they can't, then it's a thing called a talent marketplace. So even within a company, you can pick up what's called like a gig job, where you can have a placement within another part of the business for a small amount of time to learn. And I know that with this application, you'll get visibility like that. And it's like, I enjoy doing this. Let me try it out. I've seen that people are so successful on social media doing real estate or finance. Am I actually capable of doing it? And it's a great way to kind of dip your toe in rather than going all out,
Exactly.
leaving your job and then getting into that role and realizing, oh, this wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So what are some features you'd probably find most valuable in an app designed specifically for part-time professionals, if there are any?
Okay. Well, I mean, what are the features? What are the?
I mean, what?
On the application?
Yeah, on the application. Like,
now.
what would you like to be there? Like, what type of features
what
would you like?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say more skills focused and like what the outcome can be from this. Like because people, they need to see that if they do 1, 2, and 3, they're going to have this outcome. And that's why with like my training, I have this online course called like the 5 principles. People need to know that there's an A to Z of doing something. They want to follow a journey. So that if they have this part-time opportunity, what are the opportunities they can get from it? So you need to paint the picture for them and make it clear for them. Yeah.
You have a strong passion for helping businesses build sales teams. So if you had any advice for viewers who might be considering a part-time sales role or are looking to develop their sales skills, what would it be?
So I come back with a question, and it is, what is the one thing you can control in the sale? And the one thing you can control is you. And what I mean by that is, are you up to date with the market knowledge, your product knowledge, your mental, physical well-being? Have you sharpened your sales skills? If you're doing that on a daily basis, that will lead you to being the best you can be, being the best salesperson, and being the best sales professional.
So thank you so much for joining us today here, Mark Sclaire. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you.
Great.